Howdy do, Chimachuma, this is Chief Steve coming at y'all with another one. Another episode, a true story. We got a really interesting one for you guys today. But before we get into it, make sure you guys like and hype this video up. Comment in the comment section, get really interactive. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. And don't forget to hit that notification bell as well. So whenever I drop these bombs, you'll be the first ones to grab them. Now, without further ado, let's get into it.
Wells was 18 years old and by every account made each room he walked into better. On July 4th, he went to Horn Island off the Mississippi Gulf Coast with a group of people he believed were his friends. According to current reporting, sometime around 3 p.m., those friends got back on the boat and left without him. His mother reported him missing at midnight and his body was found 2 days later in the water. The friends say they don't know what happened to him or why he stayed, but real friends tend to know these things. Investigators are currently leaning towards drowning as cause of death without a timeline or any public questioning of the friends who left him there. The family has retained Ben Crump and is calling for a full, transparent investigation because right now, too many things don't add up. If history is any guide, without outside pressure, this case gets quietly closed as an accident and the family never gets real answers. Because this story fits a pattern we all know too well. Black people only make up 13% of the population in this country, and yet we account for 40% of all missing persons cases. There are 4 times more unsolved missing persons cases for Black Americans than for white Americans. And when we go missing, none of the media coverage, urgency, or resources actually matches the scale of what's happening to us. Nolan Wells deserved to come home, and his family deserves the truth about why he didn't. And the fact that they have to fight this hard to get it in 2026 tells you everything about how this country still values Black lives.
Being the token Black person in the friend group would cost you your life. For example, Nolan Wells, who went on a boating trip with his friends, the only Black guy in the group, on July the 4th in Mississippi, and he came up missing. And we see the same thing that took place in 2018. We talking about Tamala Horsford. She went to a gathering with her white friends and she came up deceased. The sheer amount of times that Black people will not understand that when you're the token Black person in the friend group, you can die and none of your white friends will say a goddamn thing. See, that's the problem. You think everybody fuck with you. Everybody don't like you. This illusion of inclusion bullshit is a westernized ideology that doesn't exist. Because their concept of patriotism is really racism. You just had 400 white nationalists in DC marching on July the 4th. Some of those people are teachers, firefighters, police officers, judges, lawyers, people you work with. So with all that shit being said, my father said it best. Never be the only one. Never be the only one of your race. Never be the only one that doesn't have any money. Never be the only one that doesn't have a car. Because it's going to create this energy to where you start to seek validation because you're trying to compensate for the lack thereof because you ain't got shit. So you try to live vicariously through white people by getting on their boat. Get your own shit. That's how you save yourself. That's the first rule of nature, self-preservation. But when it comes to so-called Black people, I'm not saying that all Europeans are like this. You got to have some type of social awareness to where you have the mental and spiritual fortitude to see what the fuck is going on around you, right? And rest in peace to Nolan Wells.
Token Black friends are not seen as people. They are seen as servers, sidekicks, and entertainment. Nolan was the token Black friend. Tokens get spent, and you have to understand that some of these people were raised in racism and white supremacy, but they don't know that that's what they were taught. When you have been taught something your whole life and thought it was normal until someone comes and confronts you, of course you're gonna get defensive and say that you're not a racist, when the whole time you are. When you fit the narrative of the Black person they think you should be, then you're able to come around them. They did not see Nolan as a person. They saw him as entertainment. They saw him as a sidekick. Let this give you wisdom and have discernment when you are choosing your friend groups and who you choose to be in close proximity with. And especially, it don't matter if it's 1 or 5. Don't ever be the token Black friend, period. Rest in peace to Nolan Wells, and I send my condolences to the mother and the rest of the family. Let me know down below in the comment section what you think about this entire situation. Do you think that it was a premeditated plan to hurt him and get rid of him? Or do you think it really is a situation where he could have just went missing and maybe alcohol was involved? Let me know down below in the comment section what you think. Like, comment, and follow for more commentary content.
You gotta know it's crazy that white people is really getting on social media, white Americans, and telling Black Americans that they shouldn't be alone by themselves with white Americans. Nah, dog. Like, you know how serious it gotta be for white people, white Americans to get online and tell black Americans that they shouldn't be hanging with white people if they're the only black person there? You see how fucked up it is? And there's plenty of creators just doing it. Man, above my video, if it's still up there, you'll see a lady, white American lady, tell black people, don't be the only one that's out there. If you are the only black person out there, leave.
If you're black and there's only one of you in the group, stop hanging out with white people. Don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to your family, I should say. Because you're going to end up dead. And they going to need answers and shit. Stop doing it, bro. They don't like you. They weird. Especially when they get in groups, they enable each other to do more weird. Stop fucking doing it, man.
Don't be the token Negro. Don't be the token Negro. This is all I keep saying on social media. And to be honest, cut it out. Because for those who are raised in spaces where proximity is kicking y'all's ass, meaning the people around you don't look like you, and then the Negroes who do look like you are willing to crucify you mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. And I blame it on proximity because as kids, popularity means more than common sense. Popularity trumps having discernment. But what we need to do is bring back the village. Bring back the village not only for these kids, but for these parents. Bring back community. It takes more than just one person or even a two-parent household to raise a child. And so while we're over here talking about don't be the token Negro, are the percentages, maybe a less chance if you're not the token Negro that you might be saved? Yeah, but there's still, again, Negroes out here who are willing to crucify themselves to be the token. So let's bring back the village.
I don't know what it's like to be the token black person or just be the only black person in the friend group. I ain't never had that experience and I ain't gonna never have it. I seen this one creator on here, he was talking about how are you black in a group full of just non-black people and you don't even have not one black friend. And the closest thing that you may have to a black person in your friend group sometimes be that one random biracial with the white mom more than likely. And he's gonna align with white people. He's gonna align more with them than he is with you. I ain't saying it's all of them, but it'd be a lot of them. Then the thing is that killing me with the black people with all non-black friends is that you never lead the group. You always the one in the back. You always the one that's the butt of the joke. These motherfuckers be so racist and microaggressive towards a lot of y'all. I've seen that shit in public. Like I seen this one black girl in a group of white girls and they all just laughing at her hair, making digs at her hair and shit like that. And she just taking that shit, crying and whimpering and shit. That's that low racial self-esteem shit. I wish the fuck I would get bullied by a bitch named Heather. Same with some of these black boys and shit like that. Like, bitch, I wish I fucking would let a Jake and a Connor bully me. I wish the fuck I would. Y'all self-esteem be where the economy is at, in the dirt. Then I be blaming some of y'all black-ass parents who move y'all to these neighborhoods and they don't equip y'all with anything. Oh, different. I'm sorry. I'm highly uncomfortable when I'm the only black person in the atmosphere. You think I'm gonna be the only motherfucking black person in my friend group? Yeah, okay.
So now they have found 18-year-old Nolan Wells' body after he went missing July 4th while he was out with his friends. And I know I'm not the only one that remembers Miss Tamla over in Georgia, Miss Horsford, the black lady that went to her friend's house for a girls' night and adult sleepover, and the very next day they found her body right outside the house, and nobody at this sleepover knew what happened to Miss Tamla to this day. The Forsyth, Georgia Sheriff Department ruled it accidental. Yeah, y'all remember that? You see, because our bodies are disposable to these people. And I would love to see that they investigate what happened to Nolan. He had his whole life ahead of him. And somebody, just like somebody at that sleepover knew what happened, somebody knows what happened to him. Right. I don't play those type of games with my friends. Whether we are going to brunch or across the world to Bali, whether we are going to the club or to a concert, we came together, we leave together. That's law. I hope you all understand what this means, because I do.
Water. Yo, hey, I like that you're gonna float, correct? I got it. We keep telling the grown ass man he's not a fucking swim. Look, I'm gonna die. I ain't got the fucking class. You gotta learn how to swim.
This is fucked up.
retard.
I think I can stay here.
Bro, how am I gonna get you back home? You don't think Mama Marquise is gonna be worried?
Hey, your mom. My mom's name. My dad's
Your
in
mom is
prison.
always worried about you.
My dad's in prison.
I think that's why. Your dad's in prison. Start looking at you. Bro,
Bro,
we
just go get a kayak.
You have a fucking life jacket on, Marquise.
I'll just wait.
Bro, you have a life jacket.
Bro, I'm black. It doesn't matter. It's not gonna save me.
Bro, yes it does.
Bro, I'll just find a way. Hey. Yeah, they think I'm about to go back, but I can't swim.
Bro, you have a life jacket.
I'm gonna die.
I'm standing right now.
So I can just like go to the next one.
Candle right here if you want.
Yeah, I might drown.
You won't drown.
You won't
I'm
drown.
trying to get over there.
You're not gonna drown. I promise you won't drown.
There you go.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Hey,
What's your
Oh,
name?
my name is Marquise. But everybody calls me Lavardi because I go to like the Nellen.
are you okay? Are you
Ma'am.
okay? Are you okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was okay getting over here. And they think I'm about to swim back. I can't even swim.
Doing a good job right now.
Probably not holding on to this. And it's my first time here.
It's your
Oh,
first
first time? Well, welcome.
Yeah.
How'd you get over here?
Yeah, what
They made me
happened?
take that way over there, and they had 2 life jackets on.
I'm glad we ran into you. Oh, you fucking pussy.
I'm never coming back with y'all.
Yo, we told you if you were coming, we had a life jacket.
Life jacket. Saved it for a big kid. This for a little kid.
That's scary though if you're not used to walking.
Yeah.
I just swim in my pool in my backyard.
Yeah. Spring water's different.
It's a lot different, you know.
We're almost there. Ooh, the wind. I know, it's really strong. And there's a current. You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm never coming back with y'all.
I don't know what to say.
Man, fuck his friends are fucking assholes. I would never do that to them. You don't do that, like.
I would never do that to anybody.
Y'all see that white lady that and her family that pulled the black kid on the back of their paddleboard away, like, or to safety from one side of the lake to the other because he was like stranded and he had on a life jacket that was too small and he was with a group of white friends and they gave him the life jacket and they told him to go across. Like, first of all, y'all listen to me. Come here, young black men and women. There's no need to be the only black person in the woods, at a sleepover, at a campsite. I'm sorry. And I live around a lot of white people. But there's just no need. Like, you have to know the boundaries. Like, you need to know what's appropriate. And you know, like, if they had to pick, like, if say there was something going on and something happened and they had to pick who to blame, they're gonna blame your black ass. You know, if something happened and they had to pick who to eat to survive, they're gonna eat your black ass. Okay. But either way, like, don't. Just don't. Like, do me a favor. If your white friends say, hey, let's go to the lake and we're going to give you a life jacket, don't trust it. Hey, let's go out and rob a bank and we'll take the rap. Don't you go rob that bank with them. Like, let them go rob the bank themselves. Let them go to the lake by themselves. They don't need your black ass. You can't swim. Also, let's just have a moment and say, stop going to places that don't have lifeguards and you can't swim. Okay, bye.
Public service announcement. If you're the only black person in your friend group, you should probably not be in that friend group. I see it happens time and time again, and this is from somebody. I am from Mississippi. Born, raised here. I grew up with so many white friends, and I've stayed a night with some of my best friends in middle school, high school, that were white. I had white friends spend the night with me at my house, quite literally. I don't know if you think that it's a fucking badge of honor. It's not. It's not. Why would you want to be the... I'm sick of this. Like, it never fails. It always happened. Did y'all not learn from the lady, the black lady? She went to stay with her friends and she was the only black one there. Some sort of color is needed other than you. I don't... They're Mexican, they could be Hispanic, but something... You need some other form of color. My kids could never. They've been there ever. You can't go to an Easter egg hunt if you're the only black kid there. And I don't have kids yet. I'm just saying. Because me and my white friend were still really, really good friends to this day. Like, real good friends. But if my child is the only black child at all of your events, now I'm looking at you funny. And I'm questioning everything. Oh, you cannot stay the night. You can't go over there to the Easter egg hunt. You can't go celebrate the 4th of July. You can't even go over there for St. Patrick's Day if you're the only black kid there. I don't know. It's just sad. I don't agree with black men or black women being in interracial relationships when they know that their partner's parents or grandparents are racist. Why would you do that? And it's not even about you. You have to think about how your child is gonna feel when they grow up and their family members treat them differently because of the color of their skin. Like, are you actually on drugs?
Yo, black thought of the day. Make sure y'all check on your people. And I don't mean like check on some, check on your strong friend types. No, I'm not talking about that. I mean, when you see a black person that's at an establishment, work somewhere, and they are the minority or they are like the token, I need you to check on them. Like, don't be like, hey, how you doing? I need you to be like, hey, you good? For real, I need you to be like, how they treating you over here? I need you to be like, blink twice if you need help. For real, because I've noticed, more so the last few months or so, that when I go to like my favorite, grocery store, restaurant, whatever, and I begin to talk to the black workers there and I really ask them those questions, most often they ain't really doing all right, but they appreciate that I asked them and it was beyond the surface level. So ask.
So the same thing that happened to Nolan Wells almost happened to me. I think I was like 22 years old working at Texas Roadhouse. You know what I mean? Young, silly, forgot a couple of the things that my granddaddy told me when I was growing up. But at any rate, every year, the employees and managers, they would take this little, resort, and it wasn't really a resort, it was in the country, and they would take a couple of canoes, some ice chest of beer, and everybody was out there smoking, and I'm like, man, that sounds like a good time. And mind you, I could swim, been swimming since, I don't know, maybe it was 4 years old when I jumped in the pool for the first time. But at that point in time, I thought these people were my friends. Another lesson my grandparents taught me when I was younger is that you don't have any friends. You know what I mean? You really do not. Like, my siblings were always my friends, and I learned that. At any rate, I signed up to go on this, little trip with these people. And, it was good at first. It was, the water was kind of shallow. We maybe had 6 or 7 canoes out there, music, people having a good time. And, I'm not really used to that, and I'm not having a good time. But usually when me and my people, my kinfolk get together and play music that loud and it was as rambunctious as they were, and because the whole time I'm looking around like, when the police showing up? We smoking weed out loud and everything. So mind you, after a while I got comfortable into it, everybody told me, loosen up, but I'm on edge, for many reasons. And so the trip continued, and at one point in time, they let us know, okay, so we're gonna get up on the bank right here, and then we're gonna go see the waterfall. So I'm like, oh, okay, so but what we gonna do at the waterfall? You know what I mean? Because I'm vibing, but at the same time, I'm not stupid. And they was like, we're just gonna look at the, sit there, light a fire, smoke some more, drink some more. And I'm like, oh, okay. So we get to the little spot where we pull up the canoes, we anchor them off and whatnot, and then they tell us, okay, so this little piece of water right here, we got to swim across that to get to the waterfall. I hate when people add extras to a plan. You know what I mean? Especially for me, I think into a lot of things and I got a plan. So I'm still cautious, and I'm watching everybody dive in this water, and swim right across. You know what I mean? And I hadn't jumped in yet because I'm still leery. And I don't know what it was, but it was holding me back. But so I'm the last person. Everybody, come on, let's go. So I jump in, and I get almost halfway through over that water to the other side. And then I realized that I'm swimming rather hard and ain't moving nowhere. Long story short, nobody told me that there was a strong current at this spot and you needed to be prepared. At this point, I'm smoking and drinking. So I couldn't understand. Mind, just get back to the story. So I get halfway through the water and I realize that, and I'm losing my strength slowly but surely. And at this point in time, I am calling out for help. No music is playing at this time. You know what I mean? None. Yeah, everybody was rambunctious, excited, whatever. But you could clearly hear me out there in the woods. It's still daylight. So I am screaming that I can't make it. Somebody please help me. They turn around, several of them look at me, say, you can do it, come on, let's go. And they continue to walk off. At this point in time, I have already said my prayers and have already decided that I'm going to meet my maker. I scream one more time, I am going to drown, and I went down. I don't know can't remember who was and what made them decide to change their mind and come back, but one person jumped in that water, grabbed me, pulled me up onto the bank, and mind you, they didn't do anything else after that and continued on their way. So I said all of this to say that I have Caucasian friends, you know what I mean? And I ain't saying friends. I have Caucasian people that I love and care about. You know what I mean? Because that's what God said. But I will be honest with you. It is a lesson that the elders taught us as young black children. The same lesson that I'm sure you're telling all your children now. Do not be the only one. And it really doesn't matter how people feel about that, because the concern is preservation of life. So for some reason, God saw fit to not allow me to lose my life that day. And for some reason, God called Nolan home. So I will say that despite what anybody feels about how you feel about the situation, please have that conversation with your children. And that's all I'm going to say. Rest in peace, Nolan Wells, and to his entire family.
Hey, y'all, if y'all liking what y'all see, do me a favor. Continue to be a star. Hit that like button. Hype it up too if you have the option. Let the algorithm know that we mean business here in 2026. Also, don't forget to look for Chief Steve on Facebook and Instagram. Chief Steve on Facebook, chiefsteve.yt on Instagram. Before we close, I want to make something unmistakably clear. We do not know, as of today, of this recording, we do not know every fact concerning what happened to Nolan Xavier Wells. The official autopsy findings have not been publicly completed. Authorities have said that foul play has not been established, and Nolan's family is still fighting for a complete, transparent, and independent accounting of his final hours. That means we will not manufacture evidence, convict people through social media, or present speculations as proven fact. But we will continue asking questions, demanding transparency, and standing beside a family that deserves answers. Because regardless of what the final investigation determines, one fact remains. A young man left home with a group and never returned. And that must teach us something. To my Aboriginal American people, my American Indian people, my copper-colored Aborigines, we have to stop allowing ourselves and our children to become isolated in environments where nobody is accountable for them. Stop teaching your children that being accepted into a certain crowd means they are automatically protected by that crowd. Stop believing that because somebody laughs with you, parties with you, travels with you, or calls you their friend, they will necessarily recognize you when you are in danger, or understand your distress, or act in your best interest. Friendship must be proven through conduct. Loyalty must be demonstrated through action. And real friends do not casually leave one another behind. This is bigger than telling our children, do not be the only black person in the group. The deeper lesson is, do not become disconnected from your support system. Do not surrender your awareness. Do not allow yourself to be stranded, impaired, isolated, or dependent upon people whose judgment and loyalty have never been tested. No racial group automatically guarantees safety, and no person should be condemned merely because of their color. We must judge people by their actions, their character, and the way they respond when circumstances become difficult. But we must also be honest about the vulnerability that comes with being the only one. When you are the only Aborigine in the room, on a boat, at a party, on a trip, or inside a social circle, you may not have anybody present who understands your signals, your cultural instincts, or the way you communicate distress. Among our people, sometimes it is only a look. Sometimes it is a change in our voice. Sometimes it is a way we become quiet. Sometimes another one of us can walk into the room, see our face, and immediately understand that something is wrong. That cultural recognition is real, but we cannot depend on intuition alone. We must build actual safety procedures around our children and ourselves. Know where your people are going. Know who they are traveling with. Know who they are getting there. Know how they're getting there, and know how they are coming home. Share locations with trusted family members. Establish check-in times. Keep your own phone, identification, and keys in your possession. Do not allow the group to control every means of transportation. Do not become so intoxicated or distracted that you cannot recognize danger. Know the exits. Know the shoreline. Know the road. Know who can be called. Know how to get away without depending on some people, or rather the same people, who may be creating the unsafe situation. And above everything else, never leave one another behind. If 5 people arrive together, 5 people should leave together, unless everybody has directly confirmed a safe alternative plan. You do not accept somebody else saying, he told me everything is okay. He told me he was staying. You speak directly to that person. You look that person in the face, and you make sure that they have a plan. You make sure that they have their phone. You make sure that they have transportation. You make sure that they are mentally and physically capable of making a sound decision. And you make sure somebody trustworthy has accepted the responsibility for getting them home. That is what accountability looks like. This principle applies to everybody. It applies when we are around white people, people of color, and even people who actually look like us, who look exactly like us. Because all skin folk are not kinfolk. And appearance alone does not establish character. We must remain watchful without becoming hateful. We must remain discerning without becoming reckless with accusations. We must build community without teaching our children to fear every person who comes from somewhere else. The answer is not blind integration, but neither is the answer blind hostility. The answer is discernment. The answer is preparation. The answer is accountability. The answer is rebuilding the village. Our children need to grow up seeing themselves surrounded by people who recognize them, value them, and consider their safety a collective responsibility. They need cousins, aunties, uncles, elders, mentors, and community members who know their names and notice when they are missing. They need gatherings where adults are paying attention, not only to their own children, but to every child present. They need to understand that independence does not mean isolation. Community does not mean weakness. And asking someone where they're going is not control when it comes from people who genuinely cherishes them and intend to make sure they return safely. We also have to check on our relatives who live in predominantly white, isolated, or gentrified communities. Some of our people live where they live because that is what they can afford, or because work, school, and circumstances place them there. You need to call them. You need to check on them. You need to know their neighbors and know who their children spend their time with. Do not wait until something happens before discovering that nobody knew where they were. And forbid, if something does happen, do not allow rumors and social media speculation to replace evidence. Demand the records. Preserve the videos. Protect the phones. Document the timelines. Require independent review when necessary. Support the family and keep public attention focused on facts. Nolan Wells was only 18 years old. His parents deserve to know exactly how their son became separated from the people he traveled with. What happened during the hours he remained missing, and whether every piece of evidence has been properly preserved and examined. We do not need another Nolan Wells situation. We do not need another parent waking up to unanswered calls. We do not need another family having to beg the public and the authorities to take their questions seriously. So teach your children now. Do not be anybody's token. Do not become isolated just because you have known somebody for years, or just because you wanted to be accepted. Do not ignore the red flags. Do not surrender your transportation, your communication, or your awareness. Do not leave your people behind. And do not let popularity, partying, or friendship persuade you that an exit plan is unnecessary. Protect yourself by every lawful means available. Protect your family. Protect the young ones. Protect the village. Stay calm. Stay aware. Stay connected. And remember, real community is not merely being present when everything is comfortable. Real community is making certain that everybody gets home. This is Chief Steve. I see you. I stand with the Wells family, in their demand for truth and transparency. And until every question has been answered, we will continue to say his name. Nolan Xavier Wells. Tata Chista, I cherish you all. And Yokoki, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.